Having brought up the importance of experience several times in the series, for this video I thought I would focus just on that. And when it comes to our first-person experience, I mean, it's huge, right? In some sense, it's kind of like all we got. Where my favorite definition of consciousness, because it's simple, straightforward, and it's the only one I can ever manage to remember, is that if it's like something to be something, then that thing is conscious, right? So say you have a bat chilling in a cave or something, right? If the bat is having the experience of, oh, I'm hungry, gotta fly out, find some food, oh shucks, you know, I almost got that thing, but it got away, or I'm tired, I gotta go to sleep, then that bat is conscious. Or say you have a more of a gray area, so you have like a plant or a tree or something. If that plant isn't just working off of automatic reactions and is actually having the experience of, oh, look, you know, sun's that way, I gotta grow that direction, or, you know, I'm thirsty, gotta pull this water out the ground, then you could say that that plant is conscious. But then say you have something like a table, right? I got a dirty table out there in the back. If that table was having the experience of, hey, I'm dirty, Matt, get your ass out here and come clean me, then you could say the table was conscious. But, you know, when it comes to experience, dreams are the pinnacle of that, right? You can have any experience imaginable and actually way more than that, because you're dealing with the land of the unconscious. You literally like cannot even consciously imagine the limits of what can be experienced within them. But the cool part is that, you know, for the most part, because you can't have these dreams where you're dreaming in like the third person, more like you're watching something, you don't have as much physical sensation to go along with it. But for the most part, we dream in the first person, and we can have real like firsthand experience of things. Where there was this meditation technique I used to like to do in the sensory deprivation thing, where I'd be meditating on infinity. In a way, I would just be meditating on how big and massive the universe is, how small the earth is, how small of a speck I am on that earth, and then like all the way down to the minute, tiny details as well, where, you know, I feel like I'm one conscious experience, but I'm made up of all these different cells and all these other little organisms that give rise to my experience. So like it's kind of going through that mental thought experiment process versus having a dream of actually experiencing infinity in the moment. Or because I was just messaging this one guy about one of my old videos where I was powering up like Dragon Ball Z style in one of my dreams. It'd be like watching Dragon Ball Z as a kid, pretending to power up, you know, in the living room, versus actually getting the real first-hand experience of it and feeling all the physical sensations that go along with it within one of your dreams. Or it'd be like flying, because I bet more people have this, you know, I've had this type of dream. You know, we're humans, we can't fly, so it'd be like imagining what it feels like to fly versus actually really getting the experience of zooming through the sky like Superman within one of your dreams. And then actually, so like a non-dream example is it would be like seeing a picture of Earth from space versus actually being on the moon yourself, looking back at Earth with your own two eyes. And then we'll close it off with this. This is an example of an experience I had both in dream and in reality, where, you know, growing up, we were very religious. We were going to church most Sundays throughout high school and a bit beyond. I went full-on atheist, and then I ended up eventually coming back to spirituality, you know, a bunch of years later. But, you know, when we were young, remember when my mom took us to go get baptized, and this happened twice where I had this really powerful, similar type of experience. So I didn't want to go get baptized, but I had no say in it because I was a child. So we're over there one morning at the beach, a fun beach that, like, you know, me, my dad, and my brother would go surf at and stuff. But my mom goes first. Thinking, okay, I see my older brother go after him. Like, okay, when is it my turn? I want to go home. Then when they did it to me, when they pulled me out of the water, it was a religious experience. Like, I felt like Jesus or God was with me, almost brought me to tears. It was a very moving, powerful thing, right? By that point, man, that's actually when I got full-on bought into Christianity, was right at that moment. Then, not too long later, a year or two later at the most, we were volunteering on one of the major holidays. Like, I think it was Christmas. But I remember I brought this up to my mom a long time ago, and she thought it was Thanksgiving. But regardless, we're out there in Chinatown passing out food to the homeless. And remember at this one point in particular, I'm coming from the street back into the kitchen, and I had that same powerful experience that almost brought me to tears, and it felt like, you know, God was right with me at that moment. Super moving. Anyway, time passed. I ended up getting too analytical with my thinking and went full-on atheist throughout high school and a bit beyond. But then it was actually through my lucid dreaming practice, having some of these more powerful, ineffable experiences, you know, in particular where I feel like I'm meeting God. Like, there's this one dream I shared a bunch on the channel, way too long for me to get into, but it started out really, really terrible, full of bad emotions, not fun at all. But then at the end, I end up getting to this point where I'm on like these gigantic blocks, and there's this chair that I'm sitting next to. And then like the sky opens up, and I felt like God. I don't know if it was like Jesus God, but I kind of felt like that to me anyway. Some kind of powerful, like big G God communicating directly with me. And it was through experiences like that and other similar ones that just opened me back up to spirituality and really just opened me back up to us not knowing. So like, even though I have this more materialistic mindset where I think everything happening within the dreams is just my subconscious mind hooking me up with awesome experiences. Either way, that experience was still super powerful. And after having several of those and understanding that we don't have all the answers, opened me back up to spirituality, right? And, not knowing what happens after we die. For a long time, I was absolutely positive nothing happened after we die. But after having some of these more powerful dreaming experiences, it just opened me back up to wonder and more possibilities. So anyway, that'll wrap it up. I gotta go. So until the next video, keep your lucid dreaming practice legit.